Boris Johnson's government admit that Chris Whitty and Patrick Vallance have too much power as they start a review into the role of Sage, and Emmanuel Macron has another meltdown over AstraZeneca. Hello everyone and welcome to the second program of the day. We just have some updates from the government in the UK about the role of SAGE, this scientific body that's not really accountable to anybody. And they've, according to ministers in government themselves, that apparently they have too much power. Well, we knew that because no one's actually, there's no accountability. Politicians around them feel like they just have to listen to the experts that they have in government. And there are a number of issues that we've heard about the way SAGE have been operating. Firstly, blocking any other counter view on scientific matters. Any external scientist or medical professional who said things, they just shut it down. And Boris Johnson, Matt Hancock, and others who are not scientists, they don't know what to do, so they just listened and they just followed any suggestion that SAGE have had. And we're going to talk about how this review that's now going to start by the government into the role that this body has, which is going to make some changes, hopefully, because this past year, a lot of things have been exposed. Also, it's not just the UK. We're not just bashing the UK's government. Firstly, this is the civil service side of the government. Secondly, the European Union not doing that much better, with Emmanuel Macron having a meltdown every 2 minutes over their own AstraZeneca contracts. But talking about the SAGE, this independent body, the Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies, this situation has been created because some members of SAGE themselves have expressed concerns that the group holds too much sway over ministerial thinking and prevents alternative views being given equal weight. We knew that when we had Professor Sikora and a number of others publishing alternative plans or reports or some sort of research into whether, on the current situation or any other matter that we've had recently, they just don't listen and they just completely reject anything that they're sent to Downing Street. That's one issue. So some members of SAGE have themselves, because this is a big body, there are so many members there, and some of them have already complained. I think the rest of them are now going to come out to say the same thing. Say, actually, yeah, we think that we could have some reforms. This is just basically a way for themselves to protect SAGE by saying that, we admit there are some problems. Don't abolish us, just reform, and we'll be absolutely fine. And don't forget, this body, as it's not some sort of thing that's been around for centuries and centuries. It was created by the Labour government, and the people like Blair and Brown behind these moves. So this was created, and 2009 was the first time that they had to deal with something that was swine flu, and then Ebola and everything else that since then had happened. The members of this body, people like Neil Ferguson and others, since then their predictions have been wrong. Their modeling has been wrong. Anything that a lot of the research they've done has not been correct. And again, that Neil Ferguson, as one of the professors, the predictions and the modeling he's done over the last few years, none of them actually came to reality. And he's still very, very much confident that he's always right about everything. So that's the history of this body that was created by the Labour government. And clearly, this is the same Labour government and Tony Blair that gave us the Supreme Court and also the devolution. So don't be surprised that where it came from. Ministers of Boris Johnson's government have also admitted that we bowed to SAGE too often. We just said yes. So politicians became the yes ministers to the SAGE advisors. And this is also very dangerous in any democracy. So of course you have to listen to experts. And of course you have to also listen to all sides and all options. And I don't want the politicians to become scientific experts if they have no background in it. But at the same time, we elected them, our ministers and our prime minister. Well, not directly, we made them MPs and they became ministers. We haven't elected Chris Whitty or Patrick Vallance or any other SAGE advisor, any member of this group. We have to have some sort of accountability in a functioning democracy. But again, this is just the UK government side, the same Boris Johnson's government, who just realised they've spent £2.7 million on a media room. Yeah, so what they want to do is to create a White House version of a press briefing room, so that they could have daily press briefings. And this is the photo that we have. The ITV News actually had this scoop to go around and film this room. £2.7 million on this. Look at the chairs. I was expecting them to be like gold and have iPads attached to them, and Coke coming out from the one side and Fanta from the other side. How did they spend so much money on this? And also, if you look at the far right corner of it, there's a Henry Hoover. I'm guessing that was probably £500,000 contract. I don't understand what this is for, but someone actually said, one of the commentators, that why does the government want to make the environment even more comfortable than it is for journalists? You're wasting taxpayers' money. There's absolutely no scrutiny in this. There has to be some sort of audit on this, just like recent government contracts. Who's in charge of spending all this? Is it the Cabinet Office or Downing Street or the Treasury? Because this is just not a good look, especially when ordinary people and small businesses are going down because of the lockdown. Now, on the other hand, it's not just the UK. This is not some sort of government bashing. This is just the reality. The European Union are not better, because the European Commission, who took control of decision making when it comes to these contracts with AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and the others, they've lost control. Initially, you had the big countries, France, the Netherlands, and others, signing their own contract. Ursula von der Leyen kicked off. She took the power away from them. Then, when they messed up the contract by delaying the process and the deliveries were late, then they decided to blame Britain, because AstraZeneca is part British. It's also part Swedish. Sweden is in the European Union. Brussels did not criticize Sweden. And so you know the saga. The latest that we have is that every single minute they try to find an excuse on this. A while ago, Macron came out and said, the AstraZeneca doesn't even work. So people in Europe stopped taking it. Then Macron, a couple of weeks ago, came to say, it's fine. It works. Let's just take it. Still didn't take it. Now things are completely changing because they have suspended AstraZeneca. France, Spain, and a number of others have now followed suit. And this is actually interesting because Darren McCaffrey actually tweeted on this issue, saying that the French industry minister reveals yesterday's decision was coordinated. So it wasn't just the French government randomly doing it and other governments following it. The quote is, "You can imagine that we spoke with Italy, we spoke with Spain, we spoke with Germany, and it's no coincidence if these four countries on the same day announce the same decision." Well, what else is new when it comes to these guys? This raises a lot of questions, as Darren says. So much for the European Union. Why just the big four? Was the Commission involved or not? The European Medicine Agency statement issued shortly afterwards was a massive rebuke. They may have consulted, but clearly didn't actually agree with the decision to pause. Who's in charge? I thought the European Commission took control of this, unless it's the big countries. Because when Hungary decided to go rogue and sign their own contracts with Russia and others, the Commission completely lost it, and they threatened to punish Hungary and Poland and others as well. But when it comes to France and Spain and big countries, Germany, clearly they have no power. And this is the biggest problem that we have with these guys, because there is absolutely no unity in the European Union. And Macron has come out after his meltdown to say that he's now considering to sue AstraZeneca for the lack of deliveries. He literally said, we're suspending it. We don't want to use it. The European Union, they also banned AstraZeneca from being sent to Australia and other places. And now Macron, same person who suspended it, is saying that, well, we need more deliveries. I'm going to sue AstraZeneca. You need to make up your mind, because the issue that they have is that these jabs, there have been some issues, certain cases. Well, that's not brand new information. That always happens. That's the same risk that you have with these jabs. But they just have to make up their mind. And at this point, they're clearly not united. All institutions are incompetent at this point, internationally and nationally. Our NHS, as we said before, they've been hiring certain roles recently. Now they're hiring 8 diversity managers on £50,000. Diversity managers for the NHS. Why? What is the role? Because I really want to know what the point of it is. And secondly, can anyone apply, or do you have to be diverse? And also, if nurses, because they believe in diversity, and you could self-identify. Even a nurse could go to the NHS and self-identify as a diversity manager and get better pay. Why is it that our nurses are still not getting better pay, and then you still wasting money on middle management and top management? This is absolute scandal that we have right now. Again, this is the bureaucratic side of government. The same applies to the European Commission and the European Union. The people who are making these decisions, all this chaos, not coming from the elected side. And the elected side, they don't know what they're doing. Whether it's the MEPs in the European Parliament, or whether it's our actual ministers and MPs in Westminster, in the UK Parliament. Shambolic. And it's only the beginning of 2021. There's more to come. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to become a member if you want to receive our first newsletter. We're going to publish our weekly newsletters this coming Sunday, and we're going to get a couple of big names to also be contributors. One of them, I can reveal, will be the former Brexit Party MEP Alex Phillips, who's recently joined GB News. She's part of the first newsletter that we're going to send out this Sunday. So if you want to receive it, you need to become a member of the channel. You could find the link in the description, or find the join button next to subscribe. And then once you become a member, go on the main page of the channel, community tab on the top of the channel, and then you can find the link to sign up for free to our newsletter. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.